Okay, so remember we're starting with the subnet with the highest requirement, and we're going to work our way down. So starting with subnet C, 12,229 addresses, we're given the IP address block of 148.164.0.0 and a subnet mask of 255.255.128.0. And so this is the same as before when we were solving for hosts, right? Using the 2 to the n, and forgive me for the scribble here, but 2 to the n minus 2 to determine the amount of host bits to be borrowed from starting from right to left. So in this case, 2 to the n minus 2 has to be greater than or equal to 12,229. So that's a very high number, and I did the calculation for you. I used my calculator, and you can use your calculator in my class. When you take the actual CCNA exam, don't forget that you cannot use the calculator. So in this case, n is going to equal 14. So 2 to the 14th minus 2 actually equals 16,382. So n equals 14. Reserve the bits in the subnet mask and find the increment value. So from right to left, we're going to borrow 14 host bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then the rest are going to be on. Great. So this is our new mask. Our original mask was 255.255.128, which was a 17-bit mask. Our new mask is going to be an 18-bit mask. So this in decimal is 255.255.192.0. And what's important about this mask, we have to get the increment, right? Which in this case is 64. So use the increment to find the network range for subnet C. So I'm going through this pretty quick because we've gone through this before. So using the increment, we start with what we were given. 148.164.0.0, and our next range will start at 148.164.64.0 because the increment is in this third octet here, right? So that's where we're going to increment. Now, let's keep this address handy here. We won't get rid of it because we're going to need it to do our next subnet range. We're just looking for subnet C, just this one subnet range. So this is going to be 148.164.0.0, and this range will go all the way to 148.164.63.255. Okay, and this also can be written, this subnet mask can be written as a /18 subnet mask. So now we need to go to the next range. What's the next range? Subnet A, 5,965. And for this, we start off with what we left off with down here, right? So the subnet was 148.164.64.0, and this was with a /18 subnet mask. In decimal, that would be 255.255.192.0. That's this address here. And then you start this process all over again, right? So 2 to the n minus 2 has to be greater than or equal to 5,965. So n is going to equal, and let me look at my notes here. So n equals 13. So 2 to the 13 minus 2 actually equals 8,190. So this is going to be the amount of bits, host bits, that we're going to borrow. So let's borrow those bits, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is our new subnet mask. All right, this can also be written as a /19, right, for writing in CIDR notation. And what's our increment? Our increment is right here. And what is that in decimal? 32. So starting with this address block here, this range here, 148. Dot 164.64.0, and we're on this third octet, so we're going to increment by 32. 148.164.96.0, and remember, we're going to keep this guy around because we're going to need that for our next subnet there. And so this range goes all the way to 148.164.95.255. Okay, so we have our next range. So this was our first one. This is our second one. And now we're going for the third one. So you see what's happening? We're going to start this process again. And like I said before, you may find shortcuts to getting this done, but this is what's really happening, and this is kind of the way I want you to do it in the beginning. Before you start looking at shortcuts, do it the hard way and do it the long way, and understand what you're doing. So starting out with 148.164.96.0. This is a /19, right? That's what we got here with that new mask. We need to solve for 2,213 networks. So 2 to the n has to be greater than, minus 2, has to be greater than or equal to 2213. And that number is 12. So n equals 12. So just so you know, 2 to the 12th minus 2 is equal to 4094. Okay, so we have our amount of bits to be borrowed. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the rest are on. Okay. What's important about this new subnet mask? Well, it's the increment. What is our increment? Find your increment. Our increment is 16. Now using that increment, oh, and by the way, this IP address insider would be what? This would be a /20, right? So /20. So using our increment, we got to find our next range. So our third range here, subnet B, is going to be 148.164.96, right? That's this guy up here. .0. The next range after that would start at 148.164. Pen keeps jumping here. .112.0, and we're going to keep that guy around for our WAN links in this problem. And this will go all the way to 148.164.111.255. Okay, and this is a /20.